Hello everybody, what is going on? Jimmy here, back with another video, and I'm not happy at all, everybody. I am not happy. Last night Nintendo put out a tweet, and it's got the whole world pretty upset, including me. I have to say, this isn't something I'm pretending to be mad about. This is something really that I think is actually really sad, and I think a lot of you all can relate with me there. I'm gonna read you the tweet that Nintendo put out last night, right? Nintendo released a tweet saying, "As of late March 2023, it will no longer be possible to make Nintendo eShop purchases for the Wii U and 3DS family of systems." More info, and then they dropped the link. And they left, right? This is horrible. I don't know how to say this nicely. This is not good news at all. And honestly, this isn't one of those videos where I'm going to be telling you all, like, you know, you need to go, like, teach Nintendo a lesson and do this and do that. What I really think you need to do is if you are a content creator, if you have Twitter, if you have any of these things, politely ask Nintendo please not to do this, because they're not going to listen to you all if you do something absolutely stupid, and you know what I mean by absolutely stupid. If you do something like that, they're not going to respect you. They're not going to take what you have to say, and ultimately we're going to get nowhere with this, and we're going to end up looking like a bunch of children. If you don't believe me that Nintendo hears people's voices, then look at an example like Sony. They were about to close the PlayStation 3, the Vita store, and the PSP. Now, what they ultimately end up doing, they still closed some of the stores, but they kept open some of them because of the backlash that they received. So I feel like it is hope that we may be able to at least keep the 3DS store open. I know a lot of people aren't really that worried about the Wii U selection, except for Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I made a video before, and I will put a card up right now for why can't we have Xenoblade Chronicles X, Nintendo? We really need that game. It's an online only game, and I seriously think that it might get lost in time here. And people are mad at Dreamcast guy, and for once I agree with the guy. You know, everybody who's followed this channel knows I do not agree with him a lot of the times, but there are times where I do agree with him. I made a video calling him out on something I disagreed with, but about this, he said if a company won't sell you a game, to pirate it, or something to that effect. Now, I'm not condoning piracy, I'm not condoning emulation, but it's hard for me to sit here and say that it's such a bad and evil thing to do when these companies clearly do not care about the art that their developers are working hard to release. Xenoblade Chronicles X is a game that I've been trying to play for literally years, and I did not own a Wii U, so I have no way to play this game. Nintendo, why are you letting these games die on these consoles? I'm not going to pay $300 for a copy of Xenoblade Chronicles X and $500 for a Wii U when the scalpers raise all the prices up in 2023 when this ultimately goes into effect. I'm not paying for all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to. It's probably going to be one of those things where it's like, I can't blame people who go to emulation nowadays. I know a lot of people in the past were very strongly against emulation, but these days it's harder and harder to tell people you can't emulate. Now, I personally do not emulate, and I don't condone emulation, but I'm saying I don't blame anyone who does emulate, and I agree with what Dreamcast guy said. If a company won't sell you something, there's no excuse you can't go about playing it yourself. Call it piracy, call it whatever you want, but in my opinion, it also is preservation of art. And that's where I think me and Dreamcast guy agree, because even though it might be illegal, even though it might be against the law, sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands and preserve something when it means something to you. Sometimes following the rules means that things are lost. And honestly, no one's going to be harmed by someone pirating a video game. No one's going to die here, especially if the company refuses to sell it to you. At that point, you're not even affecting the company's bottom line. I don't see why anyone should feel guilty for doing it. I really don't. Anyways, I want to ask Nintendo in this video, please Nintendo, please just leave these stores open. At the very least, can we please keep the 3DS? I mean, so many millions of those consoles were sold that I know for a fact you are making a decent profit off those games every once in a while. So please, or else I'm going to have to go crazy and buy every single 3DS game I think I might even like. I mean, I just feel sorry for the people whose favorite games are like these obscure 3DS or Wii U games that no one's ever heard of, that are indie games that are digital, that are going to die as soon as this happens and never be ported because maybe the company went under, or there's 100 things that could happen here. And it's so disappointing to see Nintendo follow suit with what Sony did, but it doesn't seem like they're going to backtrack. So I think we need to make a point to really tell people and let Nintendo know that we are not standing for this, and we want to leave these stores open. That's all I have to say in this video. Thank you for watching.